They'll make me a host. I'll do it for you.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm good. Okay. And the last piece of this, well, by the way, the recording just started. So here's the summary. I'm Don Wilson. I'm the Director of Education for Networking Group USA. My company is called Prospecting Intelligence. The P and the I stand for prospecting, looking for opportunities. The intelligence is the knowledge that you gain along the way. The P and the I is about habit creation pi, which is a mathematical constant as it pertains to circles, habits. There's the summary. I can have fun, I can challenge you. And if, now that we're fully current, if I say something that speaks to you today, are you potentially willing to take action on something new today?
Yes.
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 All right. I'm so glad you're with me, even though it's a small group. I'm pretending there's 1,000 people on this call. All right. Woo! For those of you who don't know me, I've been entertaining since I was very little. I was a full-time musician in the 90s. That is my mullet and my beagle from back then. I
Love the
ultimately got a
mullet.
job with a company called Champion Mortgage, which is an important part of my history, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. This is still the bag from training in 1997. That was the first time I got promoted to have my own branch as a mortgage professional, a sales guy. We eventually, a little crew of us, started our own mortgage company. And in 2018, I was very fortunate to spin off my own sales organization. And I became part of Networking Group USA that year as well as the Director of Education. So why did I choose NGUSA? There's plenty of networking organizations out there, and I'm not discounting any of them. It's got to be a good fit for you. But for me, I really love the fact that it was implementable. It was something I could do, their model. It was something I could work and excel at versus something that I thought was too daunting or difficult to achieve and adhere to. I really love the people. Specifically, some of the people on this call. Out of the 300 people on this call, there are some very special people that I can see their faces right now that I just thought they were phenomenal people and professionals. That was a draw for me. And I love the support. They really wanted to help you grow and improve. That's why I'm still here. That's why I do what I do here. So if you're on this call, one of the several thousand people on this call today, you've chosen networking as part of your business, which means most likely part of your business is built by referral, if not all of it. And whatever way that you personally set goals, part of the achievement of those goals is your ability to drive business to you and your company via Networking Group USA. And you chose to be here tonight, which I really appreciate, which means you're trying to learn a couple of things new. How can I better leverage what I do every day and every week? How does it apply to the time that I invest in Networking Group USA? Because for all of us, we have to choose to invest this time. And I want to make sure that the time you invest makes you money. So I went and I looked at a bunch of my presentations, and I can't do sales nuggets from 15 presentations. I chose 5. These are the titles. Do I listen to my heart or my brain or both? There's golden in there, Harold, and here's my card. Where's my business? I'm about to lose control and I don't like it. And the last one is the What's Your Whoopee, which is the book that came out last year. And the news is I'm at my second meeting with a new publisher yesterday that wants to relaunch the book nationwide. I'm not there yet, but I'm excited. So we'll see what happens with that. But these presentations, you're probably figuring out what they're about. So let's just do it. Do I listen to my heart or my brain or both? So I'd like someone to chime in. What do you think the brain is about as it pertains to you as a professional, a sales professional, no matter what your business is, product or service based? What do you feel the brain is about?
Knowledge.
Logic.
Good one. I heard knowledge. I heard logic. Anything else?
Analysis.
Your
Are you
experience.
talking about the left or the right hemisphere, by the way?
Good point. So based on this vantage point, I think that's the left, which of mine does not work very well. Okay. So a lot of great answers. And again, these are my opinions. The brain is really about mindset to me. What is going on up here as we choose to engage in our business? And usually what I mean by that, and again, the context of networking and NGUSA, engage in building our business by referral, especially within our chapters and by building it through the other members. What's going on up here? What's the heart about?
Say emotions and maybe passion.
I like that. Anyone else?
Making personal connections with those you work with.
I love it. I love it.
I think it also can incorporate like morals and ethics, possibly, maybe combining the two.
I agree. You know, a lot of the heart to me is the things that matter most to us. You know, and I put these on a board and I change it every single year. But to me, the heart is all about your motivation as to why you do what you do. I've actually encountered professionals that say, you know, my profession chose me. It's the family business. I mean, I had no choice. I can definitely see that. But you still ultimately do have a choice. You chose this as a path, and you have to go to work every day. And why you go to work every day? For you, the people you care about, the things that you want, the people, the places, the things that matter most. The mindset and the heart. Okay? So I really do believe we have to listen to both. They both matter. What goes on in your head every day? I read a book, and those of you who know me know I do not like to read, even though I'm an author. I don't like it. Bad. I really need to get better at that. I tend to be audio because I'm a musician. I want to hear it or see a video. Called The Power of Attitude, Stan Toller. Attitude dictates behavior. And there's so much research on this concept, but mindset and your motivation both matter, especially when you're dealing with adversity, when you can get back to why you do what you do in the first place and your ability to overcome hurdles. But I want to connect this nugget today to your language. One of my greatest mentors in my lifetime taught me so much about the power of language, and it matters. I'm coaching a few professionals right now that have had some difficult challenges, you know, losing deals, losing confidence, etc. And we talk about this very slide right here, and the type of language that you use matters. So the first nugget, how's that for a nugget, right? Right? I wish I owned one that size. So language. For example, there's a difference between saying, I am your go-to professional versus I'm just another mortgage professional. I'm just another insurance agent in a sea of people. When you have that opportunity to speak to a client or to build a relationship, your ability to use the language based on what's up here and what's in here, I am your go-to professional now in this industry. And I'm going to continue to earn that. That is powerful language. When it's with a client, first phone call, I really appreciate you being referred to me, because after our conversation today, and I know it's only the first one, I consider you now my client. And I'm excited to get to work for you, and my team's going to get to work for you as well. And that type of language matters. When your goal is to bring people into your world, to get them into your phone and into your database, that language matters. And this is a big one. When you can present language like, listen, anything that you guys need having to do with your home, or maybe it's even health related, something breaks, something that you feel you need, call me first. I want you to think of me when you need something. You know why? Look, I'm a sales, so let's say I'm Christy. I'm an insurance professional. I'm really good at that. But I've got this network of people behind me that I've already invested time in. I've vetted them. I know them. I trust them. I have 20 plus people behind me that can help you. So make sure you call me first. Are we on the same page? That type of language is powerful language. And again, think of this in the context of building referral business, building relationships within a network. Mindset, motivation is directly connected to the words you use every single day. That is nugget number one. May I move on?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Nugget number two. There is gold and then there are hills. Look, I got the hat and I'm not even a big country music guy. I mean, it's just a small group. Do you guys want a quick song? Hold on.
I won't say no.
Yes, yes,
Yes, we paid good money for this. Let's go.
yes.
Yeah, right. So I'm a little rusty, but my uncle and I used to open shows with this. And let me see if I can do this. Wait, hat. Okay, no singing. Wait, I'm rusty. No, I can't play anymore.
That was awesome.
That was
It's
fun.
amazing how good I used to be able to play that. I have no skills. So,
We're gonna.
so
need
this
an encore later.
presentation, this presentation was really all about prospecting and what I like to consider active prospecting activity. And when you look at a map like this, chime in. And I did use this in the last presentation, but it's that important. When I give you a treasure map like this, what's the X? Is it you or your client?
Me.
Client.
Okay, so both of those are valid answers. In 2021, when you Google the phrase conversational sales, you usually get into the world of, social media, forms, automation, e-blasts, chat bots, anything that drives opportunities in your direction. It's 100% valid. It's very Gary Vaynerchuk, if you've never heard of him or seen his stuff. And in all of those scenarios, basically you are the X, which means you put as many systems in place as you can for as many people to find you, okay? So just because Christy happens to be on this call, and by the way, please do not consider that an audition. That was awful. I really want another shot. Okay, it's
Got
nerves.
it. You
and
got it.
and my hands are they're achy. But you
Hey,
do some
you
fun
got it.
stuff.
Are you whining?
What?
Are you whining?
Yes. It's a long day. And the thing that sucks is this is recorded. I'm not publishing this. But Christy does some very cool stuff to make sure people find her. So my question becomes this. You set those systems up, all of the things that I just mentioned, and they're all valid. But what do you do in between? And in between, the people that I've observed, especially in service-based businesses that survive all markets, they are constantly reaching out. That X is the client. They're not waiting to be found. Yes, they do put the systems in place. Here's an article, and this is very new. This is 2021, April. 7 sales trends. And then when you look at number 5, building rapport and authentic relationships will become even more important than they ever have been. And empathy even matters because of what the last year and almost a half have presented. And when you dig into things like this, people are very comfortable talking to chatbots. They're comfortable buying online, but they want the human connection. They want conversations. So if you're going to build deeper relationships, the question becomes this: do you want the deal or do you want the relationship? So when I think in terms of that map and my client is the X, that means it's my control that I can reach out whenever I want. When is the last time you went through this to see how many people in this thing there exists that you have not reached out to and had a conversation with in a long, long time? How many people in your social media circles do you not even know who they are and why they're one of your friends? And have you had a relationship or a conversation? That's the difference. If you just want the deal, it's all about commission breath. If you want the relationship, you're looking to have a genuine conversation with another human being. When I got hired at this company, everything that they trained was about the e-link. So like Helena, we were mortgage professionals. And all we did was subprime refinances. But when we came back to the office after we went to someone's home, the first question they asked was, what's the e-link to that client? And even if I had the appraisal check, which usually meant that they were closed, they're in my world, they're going into process, so many people canceled if I didn't have that e-link. If I didn't take the time to ask deeper questions about their actual goals with why they needed to do a loan with me, or why they needed to have an insurance review, or why with Gina's profession, all of a sudden their health is maybe a little bit more important today than it was yesterday. Because without that, we have nothing that's a baseline to a deeper relationship, which is what people want right now per the research. And your ability to be your genuine self, because people can see through it, matters. Sincerity matters. So, for me, at 51, I'm not going to try to be something I'm not. I'm going to be me. I know what I'm good at. I know what I am. And I also know what I'm not. So I'm just going to go with the stuff I am, which is a little silly. Yeah, I used to be a really good guitar player. Now I can barely play, but I'm going to do it because that's me and people connect to that. So nugget number 2 today, don't dismiss finding that emotional link. And this applies to your clients and how they become part of your world and your networking partners, especially within your chapter. Your job is to reach out. What do you want? You want conversations. People are used to the electronic movement of data. They know they're talking to bots, but they want to land with a human that they can have a conversation with and that they can know and trust going forward as their go-to professional. And remember, in these conversations, your job is to offer you and your NGUSA chamber members. Nice. Let me just fix that. I'm good with chamber members too. I mean, I guess that would work too. It's been a long day. You guys are the solutions. You either choose that mindset and that language or you don't. You either choose an emotional link to people within your client base and your networking partner base, or you don't. If you make it per the research a priority, it pays you back. Okay. Nugget number 2. Are we on the same page? Any questions?
Number 3. Oh,
Number 3.
Do you not feel me? You feeling good? Okay. Number 3.
Ruby.
Well, here's my card. Where the heck is my referral? Let's go. What's going on? So, those of you who know me know that this one little fun thing that I used to do a long, long time ago, using the Whoopi analogy, the whole Mr. Mom movie thing, that turned into a wonderful little piece of my life over the last couple of years. And I just felt that we got way too comfortable handing off a business card. And because we handed that off, that meant that we were asking for business. So it's not. It's a gesture. It's expected. But unless you ask for something, there's a good chance you're not going to get it. So the nugget today is not that I've done many, many times. But if I were to ask you guys, when is the best time to ask, how would you respond to that? Hit me with it. When is the best time to ask someone for a referral?
After you've explained your business.
Okay, very good. Anyone else?
Sometimes when you're closing it.
Okay,
When
very
you
good. So
When you see a need,
So Marlene, that's you, I heard too, where, where someone is basically saying, I want you to make X pastry cake for me, and you're closing that, and now you have a job, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I heard someone also say after there's a need. Yes?
yes, that was me.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So I've had so many conversations within sales teams over the last many years about this very topic. I love this topic. And I don't think there's any data per se that hammers down exactly the right time to ask. My feeling is this though. As soon as you start to reason when the best time is to ask, you start to talk yourself out of now. And I really do feel that you can do yourself a disservice. So when we get into the, well, why is it that people don't, we're adults. We're not little kids. And still it's something that scares us. Like, the little turtle going into a shell. So what scares us? Well, I feel that if I haven't earned it in some way, I can't ask yet. Or if I ask, I don't want to be perceived as a salesperson, so maybe I shouldn't ask now. If I ask, maybe I'm going to lose my sale because it's going to come off wrong. I'm supposed to wait a certain amount of time. There's got to be a buffer period. Whatever your reason is, insert it here. We can have this discussion for hours. I honestly feel the best time to ask, in my humble opinion, is now. And all I can express to you is as soon as I put this in place years ago, and I realized that, listen, if I'm coming across from a place of, remember, mindset, I really do believe in my heart, I'm the best option for these people. Doesn't mean I need to know everything about my business. I can get the answers, but I genuinely care. And then my motivation was such that I knew exactly why I went to work every day. There's absolutely no reason I can't ask. Now, in the context of building business within a referral network, as soon as you decide to ask now, that means you ask all the time. You have to come up with your way in your own language per the beginning, your own language. My language was always about, who do you care about that I can help for you guys today? That's one of the services I provide. Because remember, I am your go-to professional. I'm here for you now. Is there someone you care about that needs help today? And then I would wait for that answer. Sometimes I didn't get an answer, but the nugget for today is don't try to reason out the best time. It's okay to ask now, but if you're apprehensive, maybe the only thing you have to work on is the language. There's so much research about how people have to wait till after they deliver service to ask. And during the process is when the client is thinking about it. Mortgage process, insurance, whatever the process may be, that's when it's on the mind. That's the best time to ask because it's on their mind. As soon as the process is over, think of the context of these days, it leaves their head instantly and they're already on to other things. So the next nugget today is no more if. No more if you know of someone who could use my help someday, let's get rid of that. We can use language of today and do it today, not tomorrow. Number 4, I'm about to lose control and I don't like it. What do you guys think this presentation was about?
About to lose control, and I don't like it.
If anyone wants to sing the song, you can go right ahead.
Probably insurance money.
Ouch.
About to lose control.
Sing it. I know Christy wants to.
Yeah. And is it, I think I like it? Just
So
saying.
I'm about to lose control and I don't like it. This was a presentation about how controlling the sale does matter. And it does get back to language and a lot of tools that you can use to do so. It doesn't mean that it's robotic. It doesn't mean that it's aggressive versus assertive. There's a big difference between those type of words. But let me share what I mean by this tonight for nugget number 4. Some of the top side effects of poor customer service nowadays, they're pretty severe. You work so hard to drive leads and opportunities in your direction, poor customer service, those leads don't convert. Your customer lifetime value drops, where maybe they'll be around for a little bit of time, but they won't be there for their lifetime. If you have employees, I know a lot of you are solo business owners, but when you have employees, if there's bad customer service, even if it's just 1 or 2 people in a company that has 100 people, that reputation can come back and affect everybody. Profit sucking. No one wants to lose profit. And most importantly, in 2021, a damaged reputation can do a tune on you. And the reality is none of us are perfect. There are many industries that are even inherently problematic, which means no matter how hard you work or how much you know and how much attention to detail you may have, things still go wrong. And your ability to confront appropriately when things do go wrong will separate the people who can retain a reputation and client life cycle versus those who can't. So nowadays, 2021, how was your experience? What do you think people remember after they buy your service or your product? What do they remember about the experience? What do you feel it is?
I think your personal interaction,
Okay.
you know, how
Agreed.
you present yourself and everything.
Mhm.
And of course, the product.
Right, especially with you as a pastry chef.
The emotional connection as well. I think that can, in many cases, be overwhelming.
The e-link, whether it's the emotional connection to the human being or whatever they were buying, product or service based, some of those purchases are very emotional. Good point. But question to all of you, do you read reviews when you buy?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Yep.
We all
Absolutely.
do. Yep. You're going to check it out. You're going to Google a human being nowadays. And this is what I feel. Again, these are my opinions, but do people remember meh? Maybe, but I really feel they remember it was awful or it was outstanding. And that's it. And in the world of reviews and earning them, here's the funny part. We are reading reviews to buy in 2021 and beyond. It's commonplace. Even my kids do it. They look at reviews instantly. It's automatic. Of course, first we need to earn them. Agreed?
Yeah.
No matter how nice you are or
Yeah.
how well you play guitar, you still have to earn it. But the funny thing is, you still need to ask for the reviews. You need to ask for them. If you are horrendous, they will light you up. People love to light people up on Google or whatever the platform is. But even if you are outstanding, you still have to ask them, would you mind giving me a review? 5 stars if you don't mind. So controlling your sale matters. It adds up to this experience that people get over time. And this doesn't mean that I slide an agenda across the table and I completely dominate the discussion. But when you do use an agenda with a client or even a networking partner, it allows you to gain control. It allows you to set expectations where we build genuine rapport and then we set the expectations for the conversation. First, I want to ask you about your goals. Then I'm going to talk about the product or service that you're interested in. And then we're going to talk about solutions for you and your family. You set the expectations. Even if they're going into a process, some of you have a process based on your business type. The ability to set that expectation is important. Now your ability to communicate becomes stellar. If you choose to set the expectation, that's step one. After that, then you promise how you're going to communicate. And you also ask, how would you prefer that I communicate with you? Because we have to agree as to how we're going to stay connected going forward. If we don't agree as to how we're going to stay connected going forward, it's just kind of out there. And remember, my job, I'm your go-to professional. So I have to communicate with you well. I have to reach out to you to make sure I'm doing everything that I need to do. And I live up to your expectations because my business is built by referral. And the last piece of this control is that you have to have some type of next step that's always in your control. I've seen this work so many times for so many people that sell and build business by referral. Those who don't do it continuously struggle. Even people who say, no, I think I'm going to go with another company. I show respect for that no. And I go, well, listen, it's still my job to make sure you're all set. I'm going to follow up with you next week. How about Tuesday at 10 a.m.? I'm just going to give you a quick call. I want to make sure that other company is living up to the expectation. So I know that you're being taken care of. I still consider you my client. And then I would put that next step in my calendar. I watch people who start to suffer or lose confidence, always giving away the next step. And they completely lose control of their sale. And then they lose control of how they can keep clients and network partners within their circles. So think of it like this. If you lay out the discussion, you can follow it. You use that agenda to avoid unnecessary tangents, and then you're able to finish with asking for referrals, which we know we should do as often as possible. And you end with a next step that is always in your control. Just a very, very quick story. And this is a true story. And if you heard me tell it before, I apologize, but I feel it's that legit. A long time ago, when I was originating mortgages full-time, we had just left this company and went to another company. And I was starting literally at the bottom again because I couldn't call all of the clients that I closed over there for 5 years. And I started to build business. But I had this mindset of asking and controlling my sale with next steps. And it was a simple refinance client. It wasn't even a big loan. It was like an $80,000 loan, barely made anything on it, but it didn't matter because they were, in my brain, a new referral source for me because they're a new client. Clients are referral sources, ultimately, if I do a good job. They gave me the classic, Helena. Well, you know what? I got to think about it. And let me run this by my financial advisor and I'll get back to you. So my mindset was one of, well, that's not a next step in my control. So I said, I have complete respect for that. I have a financial advisor too. I would probably do the same thing. Here's what I'd like to do for you. With your permission, I have our next steps. We talked about your goals, what's important to you, and my solution, how it accomplishes it. And you like the solution. Can I have the name and phone number of your financial advisor? I'll tell you what, I'll run it by them. I'll even fax them, with your permission, this solution and make sure that she's good with it. Are you good with that? She's like, you do that for us? I'm like, I'd love that. And quite frankly, I'm looking to meet new financial advisors, so I'd love to meet her. So I called the financial advisor. I got permission to fax that over and had a nice conversation. And then the response was, I don't think I've had anyone actually do that before. Are you busy next Tuesday? I'm part of this networking group. This was back in like 2001. Would you like to be part of our, meeting? Networking groups? What's that? Oh, it's a bunch of professionals that meet and exchange business. I'm like, well, that sounds good. I'll do that. I didn't have a networking group. I showed up at the meeting. The first person I met that greeted me at the door was this wonderful woman, very kind, wonderful smile, kind of took me under her wing, taught me how the meeting went. I ended up joining that group way back when, but that woman who met me at the door, helped me write the chapter in this book on self-awareness. And to this day is still one of my best mentors in my life. Her name is Karen Benz. And if I didn't control my sale and control those next steps, I never, ever would have met her. All right. Nugget. Always ask. It's okay to ask if your mindset and your heart are in the right place. You do it 100% of the time. You don't have to figure out when, just do it now. And always have a next step in your control. We're on to number 5 at 7:46. Is everyone still okay?
Yep.
Yep.
So I didn't sleep well last night. So I mean, I'm afraid to even watch this recording. I feel like I'm, stumbling over words. It's just been, okay. So what's your whoopee is all about change. And I feel that in my heart, if you truly want to improve, so here you are, you've chose networking as part of your business plan. You want to build business by referral. The 700 of you that showed up here tonight, you chose to learn maybe a couple of extra nuggets per this presentation that maybe you might implement into your routine. You told me at the beginning, if I presented an idea that might be slightly different or something new that maybe you haven't heard before, you'd consider implementing that. That means you're looking to change something. I'm looking for someone right now. Is there something that you need to improve upon? When you look in the mirror, I could get better at this. Does anyone want to take the plunge and reach out right now? We are all friends. No one judges here. Something you're trying to get better at, especially as it pertains to NGUSA. Anything?
I need to be better at my one-on-ones.
You just stole that from me, Christy.
I don't know why I'm proud of that.
So better in terms of more of them or what happens within them?
More of, the quantity as well as quality, but more so quantity. I all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there goes April. And I just didn't get as many done as I wanted to. Something came up and we had to reschedule, but things happen. But I've encouraged, we are actually working on a contest in our chapter right now to increase the one-on-ones. So we'll report back and let you know. We were thinking about doing a gift card to a local restaurant. The board would pitch in and do a gift card to a local restaurant. So
I figured like the winner would get to be in one of your next music videos. No?
That would also be, I feel like that would be rewarding, but maybe others wouldn't.
Right.
Gina, what were you going to say regarding one-on-one?
Quantity. Because the quality are fantastic when I do them. And it's partly blaming it on COVID, but I was consistently going to coffee shops once a week and just making it happen. And, Zoom does get a little boring, not making excuses, but I want those that want to go and meet for coffee, that's what I want to get back at doing. So.
Yeah. And I would agree too. There is something, I think I did a video on this. It's called hedonic adaptation. So it's a phrase that basically pertains to, if you equate like life will be so much better if I win the lottery someday, and then you do, and then eventually you kind of get used to it, and you win the lottery, and then you kind of get to this baseline of I'm kind of used to it now. It also on the negative side, something extremely tragic happens in life and you go down and then you kind of get back to a baseline. And there's a lot of information and intel out there about how we have become very comfortable with isolation.
No, I'm not comfortable with it. I can't stand it. I just got to drag other people out from it.
Good job, Gina.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir.
No, I know this group would probably meet me for coffee, but that's my, I just need to find those people that do, because I do most of my business online like this. I've been on Zoom for 6 years now. This is how I do a lot of my business. So I miss the in-person, and now everybody thinks Zoom's great. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
So.
It's still a novelty.
Well, like anything else, right? way over to this side probably doesn't work. Way over to this side probably doesn't work. Something in the middle usually works,
And
right?
that's what I'm missing
So-
is that balance because I need to
Yeah.
get back into
Agreed.
person.
Yeah, and you know, when I hear people go, you know, and I've, you know, I try to take time to research the stuff that I talk about, and it's like it's overwhelming to see the people go, yeah, if they ask me to go back in the office, I'm just going to get another job. Okay, do you realize that's way too far over the edge? There are things that we're missing. We're missing the water cooler conversation. We're missing, you know, vocal inflection and faces and touch, and I mean, there's so much. So I'm with you. You're preaching to the choir, but here we are having this discussion that even though we want to be in person and we're people that love it, we're still not doing it.
I have a question, if I can interrupt real quick.
Please.
How many of your chapters, our chapter right now is split. Half of us are in a meeting, public meeting at Cape Gunworks, and the other half is on Zoom. And I can tell you the people that are at the meeting won't do Zoom. Our building's big enough, our meeting place is big enough, but we've been doing this since, I want to say, January. And maybe even before that, but how many of you are actually in live meetings, Zoom, networking group meetings?
We're
We
not.
aren't.
Nope.
We were for about, in 2020, we were towards the end of, it was like probably maybe like August, late
Same.
August, early September. And then we kind of, I think, fizzled out by the holidays because it got too cold. We were in an outdoor area for a little while, but then since 2021 hit, we have not been in live or been in person. Excuse me.
Same with us.
And, you know, and I think Brendan's vision with the virtual, you know, was that, you know, again, the bigger NGUSA gets and the more exposure there is, the more we all win when we want to grow our chapters and our respective businesses, the more of a buzz there is. And when you go virtual, you can scale it better. But I think, you know, his motive was always to still highly encourage in-person one-on-ones and in-person business after hours. Let's go have a couple of drinks. Let's get together. But, you know, there's still a broad continuum of feelings on the subject. And we haven't landed in the definitive other side of this yet. So that's legit. But, you know, I agree. We just got to start scheduling. But regarding what you feel you need to change, I'm gonna share what I feel is the number one. The number one opportunity when people ask the question, how do you spend your time? Every day, every week. And again, we got personal, we got business, we have things we got to do. My answer is whatever you can do to leverage high leverage activity, to prospect, to ask, to build. That's high leverage activity. The more time you can spend building relationships, whether it's virtual or in person, the more time you can earn and ask for business, the more time that you can prospect for your members, that's high leverage activity. It's amazing the people that I actually coach, and we talk about this every session, the many, many things that cut into that type of time. And as soon as we take away from those things and we put that back into the time that's high leverage, which is business building time, relationship building time, earning and asking, and prospecting for the members of a chapter, it's amazing how the business flows. And you know, the prospecting for the members of the chapter is a tough one. I'm not going to sit back and be hypocritical that that's easy, but it's essential. If you can carve out even a couple of hours a week to look at the list of your chapter members and pick a couple of people and dial, you know, whether it's within your phone or within your social media network, and try to land a deal or two for people, that's high leverage activity. If networking is truly a part of your business plan, it is. But that's the number one opportunity that we miss. And I get it. I mean, things get in the way, both personally and professionally. But that's the phrase, high leverage activity. Go back after this week and take a look at your time every day and see how much time was invested in those three things. And if it was a decent amount of time, you're in great shape. If you look at it and it was very little, that's an enormous opportunity. Comments?
Yeah, I have an experience way back. I was head of a customer service organization, and we were supporting customers, but we were also documenting our knowledge and knowledge bases. I always challenge the people, think about it hard. In an hour, you can help one customer, but you might be able also to write one entry in that knowledge base that then helps 10 customers. And I know it sounds awful, but sometimes it might be better to not help that one customer, but help 10 customers in the future. The same here. The members you get into your chapter might be more valuable than the client you can serve right now. And it's you know, a little challenging kind of attitude, but think about it. You know, sometimes it might be the right solution. Not always, but it could be that you make more in the long term by focusing on getting stable chapters, stable referral sources.
Yeah, I would agree with that because again, if you make the conscious choice to network, I'm baffled by the amount of time that can be wasted. If you're really not investing in the people that you're working with and trying to build their business, it becomes very difficult to earn and build yours. And there's a wonderful structure within this particular organization to do that, but you still have to make the choices. That's why I tried to share some of what I shared today. Whether it's the mindset and the motivation, the prospecting piece, how you control your sale and next steps, how you ask for the business, or do you kind of ask? These things actually matter when you start to dig a little bit deeper. And choosing this type of high leverage activity, those little pieces start to add up. And it's amazing what can be gained from it. And I get it. It can be very difficult. Life is life. And we go into all types of different directions every day, some of which we didn't even plan for. But, Stephen Covey said, never let the things that matter least get in the way of the things that matter most. And this is the stuff that usually matters most if your business is truly built by referral and networking as a part of it.
I mean, conscious time management can do a lot. I'm a business coach. I teach time management. So there is a lot that can be gained. And the guts is to say no to the stuff that really is not that important.
Very true, especially in peak performance time. All of our business can have different times that are peak times. And, you make the choices as to what happens during those times. Do you leverage or do you let things be taken away from you? So wonderful point.
Can I just make a quick point? My company has a contact management system we partner with, and it's funny. I was just looking. Our actions are reach outs, follow ups, box openings, first week, second week, and then things to do with our team. And it's every day. It literally just feeds the funnel, and we have to go through and those things. And our reach outs are literally, you look at their timeline, how's it going? I see so-and-so at a soccer game yesterday. It's building relationships. And I think everybody's business needs to be like that. And you need to take that time every day and build relationships. And like Thomas was just saying, is sometimes my conversation is just, hey, I have a networking meeting next week. This could really benefit your business. Do you want to come? So it might not be specific to anything I'm doing that week, but I do leverage our NGU relationships because once they become part of our group, whether they become a client or not, they're definitely going to be someone that can help me grow and help the business grow. But be intentional every single day. Building relationships is huge, and you got to take the time to do it. If you're in that type of business, which I think most people that own a business are in some type of relationship business.
Yeah.
It goes back to the phrase, do you want the deal or do you want the relationship?
Exactly.
Right. So
get it without the relationship.
Yep.
So my friends, thank you very much. I'm honored to be a part of this. I really mean that. I hope you found some of this beneficial. As my dehumidifier goes off right at 8 o'clock, perfect timing. It was moist in here. Hold on. But I can't thank you enough for your attention and for showing up tonight. It means a lot to me. Stop.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully, the word gets out that, hey, you blew it by not showing up. Wilson was at his worst, but we still got some stuff out of it. And I wish you all the best. You guys take care, okay?
Yep.
Thanks,
Thank
Donnie.
you.
Thanks, Don. Thanks, guys.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night. Bye-bye.